Hello everybody and welcome back to the Wheels on Wheels YouTube channel. This is a bit of a strange intro compared to my usual, but I'll explain why in just a moment. Today we're going to be looking at the blue van again, and we're going to be hopefully sorting out the coolant leak. And I have actually been reading a lot of your comments and I've got a lot of things to look into, but there's one thing in particular that I do need to sort, which I'll show you now. So as you can see behind me, the van is parked down the road by this lovely blossom tree, and underneath the van, if I show you, is nothing. Okay, that's not what I expected. Okay, that is not what I expected to happen at all. I expected to come here and there'd be a big wet patch underneath the van, because I came out to the van the other day, which I've been parking down the road here because, as you would have seen in the last video, I've accumulated quite a few shit boxes that I need space on the drive to be able to move around. So I've been parking the van down the road, and one day I came out to the van last week and I saw a wet patch underneath the van. So there is 100% a leak, and looking at the location of it, I think it is the thermostat, or the thermostat housing. It's all one big piece. So I have no idea why there's no leak underneath the van now, or why there wasn't when it was parked on the drive. It's really strange, but I 100% have seen a patch of coolant underneath the van. So I know for a fact there is an external leak. And I want to just say thank you guys so much for all the comments on the last video, giving me hints and tips on the Zetec engine and all the places that it can leak from, especially those of you who commented that the thermostat housing is a common failure point for this engine, because it looks like that's what it's going to be. So let's pull it onto the drive and let's have a closer look. Okay, here we are back on the drive. Let's see if we can't see this coolant leak now. So I'm hoping, now that the engine has run up to temperature a little bit, it should present itself, and I can definitely see some dampness down there where the thermostat housing is. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this very easily, but right there on the gearbox bell housing down there, it looks a little bit damp, it's a little bit shiny. And if we peer down there, it's hard to see on the camera. If we just have a look underneath now, aha, a wet patch. This is after it being left for about 20 minutes, and I'm really not sure why there wasn't a wet patch on the road just round the corner. It must have washed away with the rain. We've had a lot of rainfall recently, so maybe that's why I've never noticed it. But you can see here, again, on the gearbox, it's all damp, and right at the bottom there, a little tiny drip, and that's where it's all been going, and that is the wet patch there. And oh yeah, if you can see that, you can actually see it running down the gearbox. I'm not quite sure how I didn't notice this before. So I'm honestly not sure how I didn't spot the wet patch on the floor before. I'm guessing because we've had a lot of rainfall, the rain's been washing away the stain, so I've not really noticed it. But needless to say, that thermostat housing is the culprit here. It is leaking, and I have the part required. This is quite a cheap part. It's Frankberg. We'll find out if that's a mistake or not, getting the cheapest part possible, but oh well, let's put it on and see how it goes. So first of all, I've got this old paint tray that I'm going to shove under to hopefully catch most of the coolant. So our thermostat assembly is right here, and here we have the new thermostat assembly. Just need to check it to make sure it is correct. Looks about right, looks the same to me. So now all we need to do is get a few hoses off. So we've got 3 at the front. Looks like there's 1 at the back, which looks like it's going to be a bit tricky to get to, but let's give it a go. So I've got my hose clamp removal pliers. These are so good. I'm going to put a link down in the description for these, because these, for working on any car, are just absolutely essential. They really are. See that? See how easy that is? Just comes right off like that. So easy. Can we get 2 for 2? Is this one going to be easy? Yes, it is. Look at that. Easy peasy. So much easier with these. I don't know if you can see this, guys, but this coolant hose here looks very crispy right there. That's not good. That is not good at all. Anyway, we'll forget about that for now. Let's get these hoses off. Oh no! That is very strange. That is so funny. It's like a water feature. That is so bizarre. Let's see if we can get this one off. Oh my god, it's going everywhere. No. Let's see if we can get a closer look at this radiator hose. It looks really crispy. That's not good. It looks like it's been burnt almost, and I get that it's right up against the exhaust right there, so that might be why. But yeah, really like crispy. It's like it's got chunks I can pick off. I'd say that could really do with replacing at some point. Okay, the next hose to remove is right here, and the clamp is facing the ground, which is great. That makes it nice and difficult for me. Let's see what I can do. Well, hey, I got it. Just about got it. And it's coming off. Alright, so that's all the front ones removed. Now just the one at the back. Okay, so to get to the hose at the back of the thermostat housing, I'm going to have to remove this coil pack. Unplug it there. If there is an easier way to do this, let me know, guys, because I have not looked up how to do this. I have just bought the part and just started dismantling. That's literally all I've done. So I've got this little tiny extension and a T40. I'm hoping it should break loose. There's one. Oh, there goes the bolt, God's sake. Oh, and there is supposed to be a bolt on the bottom as well, which is missing. So this has obviously been off before, probably for this exact reason. Good news, I found the bolt. And now it looks like we've got this one more hose to remove here. And I am very, very grateful that whoever decided to put this back on last time decided not to put this bottom bolt back in, because that would have been a pain to remove otherwise. So this hose clamp isn't sliding nicely along the hose, so I like to use a little bit of silicone lubricant spray to help it slip slide along the hose. There we go. In case you guys are wondering what this is just a clip removal tool, like a plastic clip removal tool. I find it really useful for getting these hoses off. I'll put a link down in the description for one of these. Ready? So it looks like all we've got left is 3 10mm bolts. No, bolt gone again. There we are, 3 10mm bolts. Notice here, the seal stayed with it. That should be in there. So here's our old thermostat assembly, and it looks like probably was leaking around here. You see how these gaps have got big for some reason over the years. Sort of gungy there as well, so probably leaking there. It's hard to ascertain exactly where it's leaking from. Maybe it was just leaking from all over. But anyway, out with the old and in with the new. But before I put this new thermostat on, I'm going to give the mating surface a nice good clean with this sanding sponge. So this should ensure that the thermostat housing seals properly against the engine. There we go. Now pop it in. And zip them up quickly with my ratchet. So now I'm going to torque down the bolts. The most reliable torque spec that I could find is 80 inch-pounds, which is about 9 to 10 newton meters. So that's what I'm going to go with. I don't know if that's correct. It's up to you to do your research on that one if you're doing this job at home. It's not a whole lot. Okay, we need to get our back hose on now. Spray a bit of silicone. Let's get the hose on. That's easy. So this back hose clamp is a bit weird. It has its own sort of self-retaining feature where once it's open, it stays open. Not sure why they'd make this clamp different to the others. Seems a bit pointless, actually making my life harder right now. Okay, after lots of getting angry at that, that's now done. It's now time to get these hoses in the front back on. Let's do that. But now it's time to put my coil pack back in place. I'm only going to use the 2 screws again because that bottom one looks very, very difficult to get to. And to be honest, that's probably why it wasn't put back in the first place. Seeing as there's only 2 of them, we'll make sure they're nice and tight. And there it is, job done, I think. Oh, except for this plug right here. There we go. Important not to forget that. But yeah, that's our new thermostat. So, time to pour in some coolant. So I'm going to start with just some distilled water so that we're not wasting expensive coolant, and we'll just see if it leaks. I just want to thank you guys for all the comments on the last video. It was extremely, extremely helpful. I really do appreciate it. I have checked out everything that you guys mentioned, and one of the things that you guys mentioned quite a lot was the coolant reservoir, so I've checked all around it, and it is completely dry, although it does look very old, so one day I do expect it to leak. And also, of course, many of you guys mentioned the thermostat housing being a common leak point for the Zetec engine. You guys all get 10 points for that because you were spot on. And without you guys, I wouldn't have known specifically where to look. So I really do appreciate that. Having some Zetec engine experts in the comments is very, very helpful to me. So thank you guys very much. Right, so we've got some coolant in there now. Nothing appears to be leaking externally, so that is a good start. So I'm going to leave the coolant reservoir cap off so that we can run it up to temperature and allow the system to bleed itself. So I'm going to do that now. Looking good so far, nothing leaking that I can see. While that warms up, I'm going to pour this coolant into this container. What do you guys do with coolant, by the way, if you guys ever do this sort of work? Oh, what am I doing? Funnel. What do you guys do with coolant, by the way? I've got so much coolant that's just laying around that I never know really what to do with. I just sort of keep it. Let me know, what do you guys do with it? Because of course you can't just take it down the tip, they don't accept it. The engine is now up to temperature and a little bit of coolant has gone down, so I'll just top it up a bit again. And I'm just going to squeeze this top hose here. I'm feeling it's starting to get warm now, just to try and get any of the air out. Just want to pump it a little bit, get it flowing, and you'll see the level. You see the level in the reservoir bouncing around as I do that. So that should be bleeding out all of the air pockets. Now I'm going to move the van a little bit so it's on a dry bit of tarmac so that I can see if it's still leaking or not. Okay, the van has been running for quite a while now. The temperature, bang on in the middle, so that is absolutely perfect. And I'm pleased to announce, as far as I can see, there are no more leaks. Fantastic. And it's looking good at the top as well. Beautiful. I love seeing new parts on an old engine. Just something so satisfying about it. Okay, seeing as now the van engine is perfect and it is never going to go wrong ever again. Right. I've decided I'm going to give it a clean, so I've got some Auto Finesse Citrus Power Bug and Grime Remover and a brush and some cloths. I'm going to give the engine a bit of a clean because, as you can see, it looks rusty even though it's on plastic. So just give it a good soaking with the Bug and Grime Remover. Probably not a good idea to do this when the engine's hot, but you know, I don't think about these things when I do it, I just do it. Get a good scrub. And by the way, the reason it looks so crappy is because it got covered in coolant when this pipe down here exploded and leaked sort of horrible rusty coolant all over the engine, or I should say sprayed it all over the engine. So that's what happened there. I'm about to do something sacrilegious that may get me scolded in the comments, but here it is, pressure washing the engine bay. I fully expect to get shouted at in the comments for that, but look how good it looks. Just went in my face. In hindsight, maybe pressure washing the battery without a cover on was a bad idea, but I'm sure it's fine, maybe. Giving this a good clean as well on the bonnet. Looks as though I might need a new bonnet. Suppose I better check and make sure it still runs. Like a dream. Runs like an absolute dream. Okay guys, the coolant leak on the van is officially fixed and the van is drivable once again. So join us in the next episode where we finally look at repairing the overhead shelf, which should live up there. So I've got some really good ideas for what I'm going to do with this. I'm not just going to repair it as it is, I'm going to make it a little bit different, but you'll have to wait for the next episode to see that. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.